Hey Ottawa, this is your Monday market snapshot for the Ottawa real estate market for Monday, January 22nd, 2024. My name is Annalee Rice. I'm a realtor here in Ottawa, Ontario, and every week I bring you the stats on what's going on in the Ottawa real estate market. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so first off, we see that the number of active listings again climbed. It wasn't as drastic, wasn't as much as last week, but it's across property types, although a little bit more in the detached market. Sales this week did drop from last week, just slightly, but it was most notably in the condo market. Okay, so this chart shows us the overall inventory in black, active inventory in green, conditional sales in orange, and firm sales in red. And what we see is that for the second week in a row, we have an increase to our overall and active inventory. Our sales did drop slightly this week, but there's a fair gap between the number of conditional sales and firm sales. That leads us to believe that there'll be lots more firm sales coming in the next week or two as those conditions are removed. Okay, so this chart is a breakdown of the new listings. We had 281 properties that were listed for sale this week, and of those, 74 or 26% were relisted properties, and 207 or 74% were new to the market this week. So it's nice to see lots of new listings. I think we'll continue to see a marked increase of new listings, and now these will be a mix of actual new to the market, people just deciding that 2024 is when they want to list their home. There'll be new to the market ones, and then also there'll be a good segment of them will be properties that came off the market in the fall or right before the holidays. And as long as they keep them off for more than 45 days, it will show up as a new listing. It may still be the same property that you saw last fall. So yes, inventory will start to climb, and we'll have to wait and see to see whether or not the sales pick up or if we're going to be back in the same state we were in the fall with lots of inventory and sort of steady but low sales. Okay, so this slide is the number of sales breakdown. 18% of the properties that sold this last week sold with no conditions, and the rest were with conditions, so 82%. The average for the last 4 weeks sits at 12 due to that 1 week where there were no properties selling with no conditions. 7% of the sales that happened this week happened within 7 days, so that was 7 sales. 7%, 7 sales in 7 days, and 71% of those, which was 5 of 7 sales, were with no conditions. So that's a little bit higher than what we've seen recently, but it could be just, happens to be those properties that sold without the conditions. 34% of the homes that sold this week sold within 30 days or less, which is actually a fair jump up from what we were seeing the last few weeks. And it's a little bit quicker of a time for me. Like I wasn't expecting it to jump quite up that high that quickly. It could be a little bit of a blip. We could come back down. But as more listings come on, new listings, we'll start seeing that number up higher because the new listings are the ones that sell. Okay, let's zoom in to see what's happening in the different areas of the city. First, we have the central urban region. If you recall, last week I'd mentioned that although the firm sales hadn't jumped very high for the detached market, that there were a lot of conditionally sold detached homes. And this week it was still the same. Like the number of detached sales remained exactly the same, but there is a big bunch of conditionally sold properties sitting waiting, and so I expect that number will go up in the next week or so. Otherwise, the number of active listings in central urban region did go up. Townhomes and condos down slightly. Sales were down significantly for condos and steady for detached, slightly up for townhomes. In Canada and Stittsville, a slight decrease for the active listings for detached and towns, slight increase for condos, and sales were down across property types just slightly. In Barrhaven and Riverside South, we had slightest increase of inventory across property types. I do note that the number of detached homes in Barrhaven and Riverside South is quite low. It's only at 55, which is low. And the number of sales was down slightly for detached in towns and just up 1 for condos. And in Orleans, we had just a steady or slight increase in the active listings, and the sales were up slightly for towns and condos, but down slightly for detached. So here's the full data for the residential detached, and you can see in the central urban region where we sit there with 28 conditional sales, which is significantly higher than the number of firm sales. And in fact, in everything other than Orleans, we're sitting with higher conditional sales than the number of sales in this week. So we do expect the sales to increase. In the townhome market, we've got Canada and Stittsville's the only place really that has a lot of conditional sales sitting there pending. Otherwise, the numbers are fairly steady across conditional versus sold. And in condos, especially in the downtown core, you see that the conditionally sold, there's 45, while there was only 10 firm sales this week. So expect that the number of firm sales is going to jump up quite dramatically next week, potentially the week after. Okay, so that's the update for the 22nd of January 2024. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop a comment in this comment section of YouTube. Give it a like, subscribe so that you get sent these videos every week when I release them. I hope you have a fantastic week.